Hi, Teresa. Hi, yes, thank you. Yeah, you've got a lot of fans here. They're also looking for dead people. Yeah, really. He's coming in strong. I don't know what that means. Okay. He's here. Really? Are you sure? I don't see him. No, I don't know what he looks like. Oh yeah. How do I know he's not here if I don't know what he looks like? Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. All right. You want me to what? You want me to hang up? With you? Well, what if he doesn't show up? No, I trust you. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. Well, now here goes. Thank you so much, Teresa. All right. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay, let's see if this works. Jose? Jose Miguel? Jose Miguel de Arciniega? Jose Miguel?
Aquí. Here I am.
Come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, Jose Miguel de Arciniega.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Hello, everybody. Hello. Aquí estoy. Buenas tardes. What's the matter? Something wrong?
No, it's just...
You're looking at me like something wrong.
No, nothing's wrong. It's just, I just kind of expected you to look different. You see, my producer said you were from the 19th century.
Correct. Although I was born in the 18th century, 1793.
Well, you don't look like you're from that century either.
What should I look like?
Well, I don't know. I just kind of expected some different clothes.
Ah, yes, like what I used to purchase from the Navarros. Well, you see, my friend, the rules of eternity do not limit my apparel.
I'm sorry?
It means I can wear what I like. You're lucky I'm not in a leisure suit.
Right.
Armani.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Why not?
I was so confused. So you said that you were born in 1793 in Coahuila, and then I think my producer said that your family then came to Texas about 10 years later. Is that correct?
Yes. I was born in September 20 in a beautiful place that was called at the time Santa Rosa in Coahuila, Mexico. In those days, Mexico was still a viceroyalty of New Spain, which included Cuba, Puerto Rico, Central America hasta Costa Rica, the Philippines, and the southwestern United States, where we stand today, or sit.
So, if I'm not mistaken, they also said that your father was with the Alamo de Paras Company. Yes, the Alamo de Paras Company, and he served in the Alamo?
Yes. My father, Don Gregorio, Jose Miguel Gregorio Arciniega, and his brothers, Vicente y Felipe, were members of the world-famous King's Regiment, la Segunda Compañía Volante del Alamo de Paras. In English is the Second Flying Company of Alamo de Paras. Lo prefiero en español. Anyway, the king was worried about the Americans who had just purchased Louisiana. Alamo de Paras was a company of 100 Spanish colonial mounted lancers charged with the protection of the king's territories in the New World.
Wow, that's fascinating. So we've also been doing a little bit more research and trying to find you and your history. And you know, I have to be honest. We had a hard time. The producers came to me and said that they were going to have a struggle trying to pull together a show. And so I thought, well, let me try and help you out. And so I Googled you, and then
You what? You did what to me? You Googled? He Googled me. What is that?
No.
Is that legal? I don't like that. Who can I talk to about that?
No, Don Jose Miguel de Arciniega. It's kind of like a search. But hold on a minute. This is going to be kind of awkward. Jose Miguel de Arciniega. It's it's kind of. How about if I call you Joe? Do you mind if I call you Joe?
No. Who's Joe?
Well,
No.
I mean, Don Jose Miguel de Arciniega just doesn't roll off the tongue, right? So, how about Joe Mike? Can I call you Joe Mike?
Joe what? No. But I do understand. Let us reduce the formalities. You may call me Don Jose Miguel de Arciniega y Flores. No, call me Don Miguel. Other people do. That's
Okay,
fine.
Don Miguel. Excellent. Thank you. That's much better. So, anyway, so I was. Oh gosh, I better not tell him I was Googling him again. We were conducting a search.
Oh, a search. So you were looking for me. I died in 1849, so you did not find me. Que lástima.
It wasn't a real search. It was kind of. Gosh, how am I going to explain this? It was on the internet, and so. Well, never mind. Never mind. Let me ask you. So you came to Texas with your family in 1790. Well, you were born in 1793. You came with your family at the Alamo de Paras company. But let me ask you something a little bit about yourself.
Oh, bueno, claro que sí. That's my favorite subject.
Well, I understand from the research that you were in the service of your country for 36 years. So can you tell me a little bit about your service?
Well, yes, a ver si me acuerdo. I was born in 1793, and after you pass 200, the memory gets fuzzy. A ver, but, ask me again, what was the question?
So, you want to talk about your service, your 36
Yes,
years?
oh, of course. Well, in actuality, I was in service to my country's plural.
Oh, okay.
36 años, I served 36 years for Spain, Mexico, the Republic of Texas, and the United States of America.
So, in your life and your career, you're able to maneuver through completely different political environments. You experience different cultures. You, from what I understand, spoke different languages. And the politicians think they have it tough today.
Yes, I understand. They don't speak the same language either, even when they do. But I had the advantage of speaking several languages. I speak English, más o menos. Digo, más que más menos. También, claro que hablo en español. Et aussi, je parle assez bien le français. And on Sundays, a little Latin. Also, the dialect of the native peoples. Apache, Comanche, Comanche, Cherokee, Caddo Jadacho mean real chiefs. Cherokee, como le dije, Dagua Doa, Jose Miguel de Arciniega, mean my name is Jose Miguel de Arciniega in Cherokee. So I was a translator for many official expeditions, including at the siege of Béjar for the surrender of General Martín Perfecto de Cos.
General Cos, the surrender in December.
Claro.
Well, many people think that was kind of the beginning of kind of the Texas Revolution. Of course, he was ordered to leave, right? And then he was told to never return. But we kind of have an idea of how that kind of unfolded, right? So he comes back, right, with Santa Anna. We all know about the story of the Alamo. And then they go to San Jacinto, where they lost.
Yes, I know.
Well, of course you do. You were there. How silly of me. So now let me ask you, earlier when you were talking about your clothes and you purchased them from the Navarros, can you tell me a little bit more about the Navarros? You knew them?
Oh, yes. I knew Angel Navarro and Jose Antonio Navarro. Jose Antonio Navarro and I were elected deputies to the Congress, the State Congress of Coahuila y Texas. Coahuila y Texas was a constituent state of the newly formed United Mexican States. And Navarro and I used to travel by horseback from Bejar to Laredo to Saltillo and back again and back again and back again. I was a state legislator and also secretary to the legislature of Coahuila y Texas. And during that time, I wrote many laws, including the laws pertaining to the distribution of lands by a land commissioner. Also, the branding of cattle and the method of which they were to be maintained, many, many laws. 300 was my recollection, some which still stand today.
So, speaking of land commissioners, you were the land commissioner for Stephen F. Austin, is that right?
Yes.
So, how's that for being right in the meat of things, right?
I don't know what that means, but it sounds delicious.
What I mean was you were kind of at the forefront, kind of right there in the middle of things, or whatever position you may have been in.
Well, I knew, because I knew Moises Austin, Esteban's father. I also knew Felipe Neri, who better known as the Baron de Bastrop. Felipe was Esteban's first land commissioner for his first colonies in 1823, but he was unable to complete his duties and he died in 1827. I was land commissioner for Esteban F. Austin's colonies from 1830 to 1835. And in that time, as commissioner, I what is the word? I issue the 4 leagues, a grant for 4 leagues of land that Samuel Williams and I plat and design. And I agree with Austin to name it Bastrop in honor of our mutual friend.
So, did you also do something with Jim Bowie and lands?
Yes. As a land commissioner, my signature still exists on many of the land grants today, including to one Jim Bowie. We call him Santiago.
Okay. So now let me ask you, you did all that, was that before or after you were mayor of San Antonio twice?
During, and twice I was in 1830 and 1833. And I was alcalde, which is a mayor, pero mucho más. Is a mayor, judge, and law enforcement combined. An alcalde was charged with the ayuntamientos, the city council, members of which were known as the regidores. And as land commissioner, I was responsible for the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. It was the most important position in the municipality. You know, it was not until 1836 that 3 individuals filled that role. That's a lot of work, which was why we were mostly running from that position, not chasing it like they do today.
Wow. That's a lot of work and a lot of service. And
See?
you know, it's evident you didn't do all of that laying down.
No.
And then you had the time to father 8 children. And no, that's
Hold on. So you're saying I must have found the time to do so?
no. That's, I didn't mean for it to come out like that. What I was trying to say is, I mean, you were a political chief, you were an alderman, you were the captain of the militia, and you traveled to Mexico, you traveled to Louisiana, you were the land commissioner. How did you do all of that and still maintain a family life?
Well, like most busy men then and now, not very well. Made possible by having a lovely, loving, and very patient wife, mi Alejandra. Maria Alejandra Serafina Lozoya. Because of her, my children turn out to be very fine individuals, and most of them marry. A ver si me acuerdo. Mi hijo mayor, José Miguel Cristóbal, se casó con María Úrsula Cecilia de Gortari, hija de Miguel y el hermano de mi amigo Vicente de Gortari. María Petra marry Jesús Garza. María Jesusa casó con Louis Lafrance, fils de Monsieur Baptiste Lafrance et Marguerite Concepcion. Gregorio casó con Emily Curvelo y María Josefa con Clemente Delgado. Los dos de las familias originales canarias de Canary Island. A ver, Tadeo Mateo marry la chipita Josefa Tejeda y mi amorcita Elena con Rodríguez, Espiridión Rodríguez. And then after that there were the children, many children. But very soon after that I was gone. I died in May 13, 1849. I was still 55 years old. It was a good life. And in those days, a long one. Bueno, long enough. No? I did not believe that at the time, but I see that now.
Don Miguel, let me ask you, do you have any regrets?
No, not for a long time. We had much to do. We were building our town, our state, our country. You know, at first, we just wanted to have representation, whether Mexico or Spain. We just want to have basic choices, basic rights, build our home, raise our families, live as free peoples. Pero no. In time, we were desperate for our complete and total independence from either. But I did regret that I did not see the changes that were ahead. Changes that we could not fight. At least no we Tejanos. In the aftermath of the annexation of the Republic of Texas to the United States, many of us who work and fight for this country, some whose families had done so for more than a century before, were treated as the enemy that left behind. And why? because of our skin color, or our accents, or our heritage, or our funny names. Names that they could neither pronounce nor spell. And we lost power, prestige, position, lost homes, lost lands, lost lives, lost. And also lost the history that we did for Texas too. I do not regret the loss of the material. Had I lived longer, I could have cared for and protect my family just the same, with or without. But I was taken too soon, left my family alone, and left history to be written by those that wish to change it, to write us out of it, to remove us. And the greater our contribution, the greater our influence or our land holdings, the greater the need to remove.
Wait a minute. Oh my God. How did you die? Are you telling me that you were murdered?
Basta! For another day.
Yes, absolutely, for another day. All the more reason to tell your story and the story of other makers of Texas, just like you, again and again, so that we can rewrite the rewrites.
Ojalá, mi amigo. Ojalá.
Well, you know, that's a lot of service and a lot of history. I wondered why we didn't find anything about you, but now I know.
Now you know.
So let me ask you, did you know
Seguin?
Juan Seguin? Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Juan Seguin. Juan Seguin.
Sí, yes, I served many times with Seguin. I even knew your grandfather, who also served with Juan.
I'm sorry? I don't understand. My grandfather?
Yes.
I don't understand.
Grandfather, abuelo. You know, someone has a child.
No.
child
No. That's not what I meant. I mean, I've heard of one Seguin. I always want to say Seguin. And when I looked in those history books, and I've been to the state archives as we were doing research on you, and when I look at those rosters, I see a bunch of Tejano names. I've never seen a Flowers.
This is true.
So, I'm confused. So if you say you knew my grandfather, you said my grandfather served with Seguin. I look at the rosters, there's no Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand, how could my grandfather have served with
Because
Seguin?
your proper surname is no Flowers. Many of your ancestors, especially in the early 20th century, changed their name to get jobs or to avoid discrimination. Your proper surname is Flores, and in English mean
Flowers, of course.
Your grandfather was Salvador Flores, and he a lieutenant and served with Seguin.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Here I thought I was going to learn about him, and I learned about myself. Thank you so much, Don Miguel. I can't thank you enough. So I really appreciate all that you shared with us today, with me, especially that little bit that you just shared, and then also all that you shared with all of us.
But see, and now you and they join our cause and our voice. Tell the stories. Correct the records. There were the makers of Texas that were taught in the schools, whose names appear in history books throughout the world, justifiably so. Crockett, Bowie, Travis, Houston, and mi amigo Esteban. They came here from far away. They want to start a new life. And they did. And we let them. And we helped them do so. But they had nothing to lose. No like us, who had to rip our allegiances to our mother countries well within her sights, on the very soil that we, our fathers, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers fought, lived, and died. We had everything to lose, but we did it anyway. Makers of Texas, to a much more difficult degree. Worth remembering too? No.
Well, absolutely. Definitely worth remembering. Don Jose Miguel de Arciniega, you too are a maker of Texas, and I can't thank you enough for coming here and sharing with us all of your history. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Don Miguel Jose de Arciniega.
Gran placer. Merci beaucoup. Y gracias a todos. Ahora, adelante.
We hope you enjoy.